In the time before memory, when the world was young and wild, there came a season of endless storms. Night after night, the sky crackled with fury, hurling bolts of lightning that set the ancient forests ablaze. By dawn, these fires would vanish, leaving nothing but scorched earth and whispers of ash. The people of the land trembled at the sight of flames. They called it sky's anger, a force too fierce to tame, too hot to touch. They kept their distance, huddling in the shadows of their caves, waiting for the storms to pass. But there was one among them who did not cower, a child barely 6 summers old, with eyes that sparkled like starlight and a heart full of wonder. His name was Naru, and he saw the world differently. One misty morning, as the tribe slept, Naru wandered from the safety of their shelter. The air was thick with the scent of rain and smoke, found himself drawn to a fallen tree, its bark still warm from the night's fury. There, nestled in the charred wood, he saw something magical, a tiny coal pulsing with life, like the very heartbeat of the earth. Naru did not run, did not cry out in fear. Instead, he cupped the ember gently in thick leaves, cradling it as one might hold a newborn bird. With careful steps, he carried his precious find back to the tribe. The elders were horrified. They saw only danger, only destruction. They tried to stamp out the ember, to crush this piece of sky's anger beneath their feet. But Naru was clever. He hid the coal in a hollow stone, a secret place where it could rest and breathe. Every morning, before the sun kissed the horizon, Naru would creep to his hidden treasure. He fed it wisps of dry grass, watching in awe as it flickered and grew. Each night, he would whisper to it, telling stories of the day's adventures, of the wonders he had seen. The ember never died. Days turned to weeks, weeks to moons. Naru learned the language of fire, its moods and desires. He discovered that a gentle breath could make it dance, while too much fuel would cause it to roar with hunger. And with patience, oh, such patience for one so young, he found he could coax the ember into flame. A warmth without rage, a light without fear. One bitter night, when the winds howled and the hunters returned with empty hands and frozen limbs, Naru knew it was time. He led them to a secret place, to the stone that held his friend. With trembling fingers, he lit the first controlled fire his people had ever known. The tribe gathered, wary at first, then drawn by the gentle warmth. They cooked their meager catch without fear of burning. They warmed their bones without danger of destruction. And long after the moon had risen, they sat together, sharing stories in the soft, flickering light. From that night forward, everything changed. The people learned to keep embers alive, passing them from hearth to hearth. They crafted vessels of clay and stone to guard the precious spark, ensuring it would never die. Fire became not a thing to flee, but a companion to cherish. Naru grew tall and strong, but he never lost the wonder in his eyes. He became known as the Ember Child, honored not for discovering fire, but for teaching it to stay, for showing his people that even the wildest forces of nature could be befriended, if approached with an open heart and gentle hands. In the songs of the elders, passed down through countless generations, they still sing of that first night, of how the sky once gave fire and anger, but a child kept it in love. They tell of how Naru did not steal the flame, but befriended it, nurturing its spirit until it chose to remain. And on quiet evenings, when the fire crackles low and the stars begin to shine, you can sometimes hear the whisper of an ancient truth. The ember never died. For in every flame that warms a home, in every torch that lights the way, there lives a spark of that first coal, tended by a curious child who saw not danger, but possibility. Remember, little ones, as you gather round the hearth, the greatest changes often come from the smallest acts of courage. And sometimes, it takes the innocence of a child to tame the fury of the sky.